Okay, this is going to be one of the most random videos I have ever made. It spontaneously popped into my mind, and I just want to talk about it because the videos I make on this channel are not commentary videos. It's not like I'm giving you beauty advice. We are just like suffering together, you know? So it's like, I would tell, if I had friends, I would tell my friends this, you know? So we're gonna be talking about, wait, why did it get so dark? That's really weird. We are gonna be talking about It Ends With Us. Now, I don't even care about the drama because to me, I feel like both people can be horrible, and that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Okay, we're gonna talk a little bit about the drama, but not quite yet. But basically, I saw the movie and I just want to give my thoughts on it and share what happened, like in the theater while I was watching it, because I just left that theater like the same. You know, usually you walk out of a theater as like a different person. Like you feel like you either like take on the personality of one of the characters, or it like moves you. It gets you thinking. It gets you like, I don't know. Most movies, when you see them in a theater on the big screen, I feel like move you. Like even if you see a rom-com, you're like, oh my god, that was so cute. This movie felt nothing. Okay, and I'm gonna talk about it. Let's talk about the drama really quick. Number one, I don't like Blake Lively. I don't know why. I have no reason to not like her. I just think based on her interviews, she seems kind of like I'm better than you vibes, and I don't like that. She is friends with Taylor Swift, which would be a green flag for me, but I'm sure she only shows Taylor her best side of her, so I don't know. Whatever. It's kind of weird how she was like,
go get your florals and come see It Ends With Us.
Like a little tone deaf. Justin Baldoni, I don't know anything about him outside of Jane the Virgin. I only know his character on Jane the Virgin, which he was a lot more attractive back then, but that's besides the point. Well, no, he really was. That was a main factor watching the movie for me. That was a big factor. But I've heard nothing about him. I've heard nothing bad about him. Do you know what I mean? It never seemed like coworkers did not like him, like on Jane the Virgin, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. Allegedly, the source of the drama comes from the fact that he lingered too long on a kiss, which I don't even know what that means, but like, who knows? Maybe he did. Maybe it was like uncomfortable. And also he asked someone else her weight because of his back, which I don't know if that's true. He could have been being like a dick about it, like,
how much does she weigh? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my back.
Or he could have actually been like genuinely concerned about his back and, you know, curious. But it's just weird. Like, why? I don't understand. Like, yes, okay, when you say it out loud, like, yes, it makes sense. Like, you would want to know how much someone weighs before you lift them up. But like, okay, it's Blake Lively. She's not, like, we know she does not weigh that much, sir. If you cannot lift Blake Lively up, then rewrite the scene. I mean, like, you can gauge, like, a person is going to be heavy. They are a person. Like, I feel like the 10-pound difference isn't gonna really matter. So I don't know, that was just weird. But the whole movie, we'll get into the movie now. The whole movie, number one, I'm thinking about that drama, and I'm thinking about what kiss he lingered on too long. Oh, and they also had directing conflicts. So I'm also thinking about that during the movie. I'm like, I wonder what scene they were fighting over. And I was also wondering, I'm like, what dialogue did Ryan Reynolds rewrite? Because he said he rewrote a whole scene. I don't know. Well, I really don't know. You know, at the start of the movie, the rooftop scene, I think that was the peak of the movie, which is horrible. The dialogue was good. This was well written for, you know, an adaptation of a Colleen Hoover book. I was like, wow, this dialogue seems really like realistic, and their acting was good on the rooftop. Then the rest of the movie, it just went downhill with like dialogue and like being realistic. First off, besides the dialogue downfall, who approved the movie being that long? The movie was over 2 hours, and there were points where I was sitting there and I was like, damn, they're still showing this conversation. They were showing things that like certainly would happen in real life in dialogue, but I'm like, we don't need to be seeing this. I feel like I was watching a director's cut of the movie. I'm like, we could have easily slashed minimum 15 minutes. You probably could have slashed 20, 30. Okay, there were just so many scenes of dialogue, I think meant meant to show like more of their relationship, but to me it was just boring. I also think their conversations were slow, like very slow. Like the scenes were kind of dragged on. Like if the scenes were a little more fast-paced, I feel like it would be better for everyone, but you know, it wasn't. So the whole movie, I'm like, dang, is this movie still going? Like, oh my god, like how much longer are we gonna be in this scene? And then I know I'm going all over the place, but like the fashion, my camera just died. It's like my camera is telling me to stop talking about this movie. But the fashion, okay, I know this girl's supposed to be eclectic. Her name is Lily Blossom Bloom, but now, I heard on Trisha Paytas's podcast, they were talking about the fashion in this movie as well. And they were describing the fashion and I was like, we'll see. She shows up to a cocktail attire party in giant sparkly boots, fishnets, a cutout dress, a short cutout dress, a camo jacket, and a perm. I was like, okay, what statement is that making? Because also it's like, I'm not getting the vibe that she would dress like that as like a girl from like, is she from Maine or something? I'm like, I don't know, that's not really it. That's not really it. I feel like you're just trying to like push the boundaries a little too far. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so the fashion was interesting. I think the only thing I also will give this movie credit for is the casting for the younger version of Blake Lively was actually insane. This girl not only sounded identical to her, but also looks like just like Blake Lively, how I would imagine. They look like sisters, they really do, because there was this interview on Twitter I was watching and they were interviewing her, but the whole interview I'm thinking she's Blake Lively because they looked so alike. And I was like, why are they talking about Blake, like herself in third person? Like why are they talking about Blake Lively in third person when she's Blake Lively? And then it clicked. I was like, wait, this ain't Blake Lively, this is the other girl. So that was wild. But it just This movie sucked. This movie sucked. Also, I just feel like the moments where they wanted you to see like abuse, it wasn't abusive enough. Hold up, before you cancel me. I'm not trying to see like her get beat, okay? But like, I feel like this movie just wanted to appeal to too many people. This movie should have been R-rated if it wanted to actually push the boundaries, because allegedly Blake Lively wanted an Oscar for this movie, and I feel like if she wanted an Oscar for this movie, you would have to make it rated R and add actual like, make it an actual like movie about domestic violence, because the domestic violence, well, the first incident of DV in the film, I didn't even know what happened. I didn't even know if he hit her. I still don't know. He dropped a pan on the floor, it like shattered, there's glass everywhere. He cut his hand and then he like pushes her back and like cuts her. I don't know. So that's, I'm like, okay, I know this is DV in the book, but like me watching it, I'm like, it kind of just looked like an accident. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if I'm thinking that, the rest of America must have been. Then, well, yeah, when he pushes her down the stairs, like, obviously that's abuse. But again, I don't even think we got a full shot of her being pushed down the stairs. And here's what I'm trying to, okay, Oscar nominated films, like I'm just thinking of Precious, which dealt with abuse, okay? You were seeing abuse in that movie. That movie was hard to watch, okay? I'm like, you can't even show a stunt double being pushed down the stairs. Like, again, like, she just woke up with a cut on her face. I'm like, I feel like this is like light compared to the book. And then what was the last incident? I don't even remember. Oh, I think he tries to R-word her and he like bites her. Which that one was bad. That one I think was like, okay, we're actually seeing like, this is a good portrayal of like abuse in marriage. Like a wife is not obligated to like, you catch my drift. But like, yeah, I feel like it was too PG with what they were dealing with. This is an adult book and the movie is rated PG-13. So to me, that's not adding up, because if the book is adult, the movie should be rated R because the book is rated R, okay? So yeah, it was just kind of like dumbed down, and like I feel like their audience is like well, obviously middle-aged women, but I feel like also a large audience for this movie is like teenage girls in high school, and good that they're portraying this like as a warning thing, but it's just like, it's kind of like a bad portrayal in my opinion. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, again, the book was not great, but I'm like, I don't know if this film even did the book justice, because I'm like, again, like, we're having a little too much dialogue stretched out and not enough action. And trust me, I don't need to see things with action, okay? But this movie was boring, okay? Boring. And again, that's not me saying like I want to see someone get abused, but I just felt like it was just like censoring itself too much, pandering to a younger audience, when it's like, hold up, I think we should be like actually just like making it how the book is, you know, if you want that Oscar, honey. So I was like, okay. Also the whole movie, I thought they were in New York, but they are in Boston because I can't pick up on context clues, but I believe they did film in New York. So, okay. And the other thing is, like, when you have popcorn at the movie and there's so much dead, like, air in the movie where it's, like, quiet, it's so awkward to eat popcorn because everyone can hear you munching. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the movie. But the people in the theater, I'm just gonna complain about people in the theater really quick. First off, why is it that people cannot, like, we as, I'm not saying, like, I'm not singling anyone out, but we as a society have, you know, evolved where we cannot sit through a 2-hour movie without looking at our phone. And again, the movie wasn't great. So, okay. But, like, really? You're gonna pull out your phone in a movie and start playing TikToks? Like, the audio went off and this lady was next to us. And I was like, really? Like, really? And her phone also went off flashing, like, instead of ringing. So my mom's phone does that. So I'm like, Mom, shut off your phone. Turns out it's not even my mom's phone. It's another middle-aged white lady's phone going off, flashing in my eye. I really love that. And then also just like cringe, just at the end of the movie, she says the name of the movie, which that can go one of two ways. It can either be like, ooh, they said the name of the movie, or like, oh, they just said the name of the movie. And I was feeling the second one. And after they said the name of the movie, this lady goes, woo, like she screams. I'm like, it is not opening night. It is not opening weekend. It is not even the opening week. Honey, we are past that point. Okay, no. No. So those are my thoughts. I just really needed to rant about this movie because it's like, it wasn't good. It was trying to be a moving movie. It was so trying to be like The Fault in Our Stars, like, you know, it didn't even get to that level. And I would say The Fault in Our Stars is like a teeny boppy, like, sappy film. Okay, It Ends With Us didn't even get there, in my opinion. It was just like, I did not care about any of the characters. Not one of the characters was I like, oh, I like you. It was boring. I don't know. So yeah, that's my rant. That's my slightly little tiny rant. Ooh, let me spray my face with this. I totally forgot. Oh, did I get on my camera? Oh, heck no.